I like Polk Street. I'm not talking about the north end up by Vallejo, Green, Union. No, that's more the eastern reach of the marina. High concentration of bright smiles, blonde hair, and imperturbable attitudes, both male and female, wearing brands as public statement. Lululemon, Allbirds, and Patagonia fleece vests with some tech company or banker's name embroidered above the heart. We're talking white people, of course, and a healthy mix of Asian and South Asian who seem to be more white than the white people. More similar to Burlingame or Mill Valley than the Polk Street I grew up knowing in this fair burg. That part of Polk Street south of California, maybe Washington Street at the worst if we need to stretch, maybe not quite as far south as the Gulch, but that border is more gray than my old geezer Buffon. That part of Polk where back in the 80s we'd stumble by out of the bar straight, gay, mixed, punk, biker, coat and tie. We'd stumble up to the window at Steve Souvlaki, get greasy slices of their za of the moment if we were flush with cash, and that was rare back then. We'd venture inside, actually have some souvlaki. That part of Polk where we'd smoke hookah and weed late into the wee morning. That part of Polk, maybe, just maybe, if we got lucky, a drunken, sloppy fuck or makeout session in some random alley along with the hookers and their johns. Or maybe in some random bar sitting in the booth in the back in the dark. Or in its nasty bathroom, unisex before its time because there's only one, while someone knocked to get in, knocked to the rhythm of my thrust as she perched on the sink. The gentleman in me that my mama raised lay in my jacket, shirt, whatever across the nastiness that was that sink. Maybe this is something people still do. I do hope so. I really, truly do. Though these days my sojourns to Polk are in the daytime hours, my constitution not being what it used to be. Maybe I'm living out that old folks boogie song, the mind making promises this old body can't keep. It's just that I can't remember when ideas and plans became daydreams and fantasies. When I slipped into my own little Walter Mitty world. When I finally accepted my transition into this world that sits behind that veil of harmless, dirty old manhood. And if we're lucky, perhaps transcend to being that loved and lovable old cur. When admiring belly buttons, reveling in all their varied and nuanced beauty, became far more interesting than actually fondling them when they became more meaningless conquests and pleasure. I prefer to hang out, sip my macchiato, chase it with a San Pellegrino. I've given up on the drip, don't you know? No one makes a good drip these days. All coffee shops in the city just seem to be in a race to that bottom tier of gas station coffee. I get it. It's an issue of scale versus quality. I harbor no ill will. And that new high-priced, high-margin, blue bottle-ish pour-over, well, aside from that blessed caffeinated nectar purveyed by the Brazilian angels at Cafe de Casa, they leave me wanting. Yeah, I moved on. Macchiato and a side of soda. So Trey Euro, no? And when I'm on one of my Polk Street adventures, it happens on a regular basis. It is my hood. I dig my hood. And when I am in need of rest, respite, and resurrection, I let my feet lead me over to Upfordayz. Newcomers to Polk, I mean, hell, everyone is a newcomer to Polk, except maybe me and the raggedy woman who sat at my table and offered to blow me for cigarettes, which, lest you think poorly of me, I turned down, but not before I gave her one of the many lighters squirreled away in my backpack so that she could engage with one of the many half-smoked cigarettes she pulled out of her pocket, probably found on the sidewalk. Yeah, violins playing. But hey, this is a review of Upfordayz, and I like this place run by a brother and his two sisters. Maybe there are more brothers. Maybe there are more sisters. Maybe they're just cousins, not siblings. Anyway, it don't matter. They're always there. Always very nice. Always very sweet, very kind. They know I like my macchiato in a glass. It comes soon after I order and pay. And yes, don't insult me. Of course I tip. I always tip. I'm a tipper. I mean, the minute I walked into the joint, they could tell I was a dude of distinction, a real big spender, looking to spend a dime or two. It comes soon after I order, no waiting. No waiting like at Blue Bottle, which seems to have waiting built into their business model. Hey, I got an idea. Let's show we have pent-up demand by making all these suckers in Patagonia wait. Even better if they're waiting outside in the fucking fog, for fuck's sake. And the Upfordayz macchiato is smooth and thick, dusted with a smidgen of foam and seemingly mandatory heart-drawn atop. Not so harsh that you have to shoot it like tequila. It's sipping smooth, tasty on the tongue. And their pastries are oh so delish, oh so special, made in their quite large bakery in the back. So delish that girlfriend has had to warn me that should I exceed this 32-inch waist that I've managed to maintain, she will kick my ass out, sending me running to some not fat farm out in the hinterlands, maybe as far away as that one outside of Durham, North Carolina, that Al Goldstein of Screw Magazine used to visit back in the day. But I do dig their carrot cake. I do dig their croissants, either sweet and savory. It don't matter as long as that butterfat content is at that desirable level and they lay in that sweet yellow cow fat with the generosity of a drunk tipping his bartender. They have seating inside, but I prefer the cafe table outside in the mix on the street where I might observe, interact, and involve myself with folk. Where I'm challenged every day with the question of he, she, the nervous giggling to oneself that immediately telling oneself it doesn't matter. We're all children of the goddess here on this big blue ball, but still wired from way back to still wonder, maybe it's primal. I don't know. That sniff button ask, should I shtup this? Should I kill this? Should I eat this? Or maybe we're cool with each other and just crawl away. Where I can sit glancing around, taking it all in as one does, sunglasses making it easier, eyes go left, right, up, and then down. Counting belly buttons, making judgments on those that pass by, saying hey or giving a nod to those I know, or at least recognize as denizens of this street named after yet another dead president. Where I can read my books and scribble on my notepads with ample distraction and input. Where I can simply sit back and enjoy the stillness that is my mind, which itself has been up for days. Yeah, coffee on Polk Street and all that.